These are my occasional reflections and musing on Urdu language as an amateur, obviously. But Urdu is a language spoken in Pakistan, India, part of Bangladesh, Gulf, and wherever Pakistanis and Indians live. It's a language of connections. Connection between the people of subcontinent, or in other words, lingua franca. And its name is Urdu, but it had various different names during its evolution. It used to be called Hindustani, which simply means language of Hindustan, that is, language of India. Urdu is a Turkish word, or derived from Turkish, and that, among other things, it means army or army camp. That's what a certain type of Urdu was known as Urdu Mualla, the language which was spoken in and around the army camp, which was the seat of the emperor as well, because really to rule India until 19th century was to rule that army camp, because there was no central government in the modern sense of the word. Urdu is used in English as well, so its English version is horde, which refers to Mongol hordes, among others. So it's a language of lingua franca. I think that's how they write it. And it's basically a combination of Indian languages, which are collectively referred to as Prakrit, Arabic, Persian, but this and a bit of Turkish, I think, and later some European languages. So in that sense, it is A language of connection. India and different Muslim people and their languages. So the people who mainly conquered India. I mean, there was an early Arab conquest of part of what is today Pakistan, especially Karachi and part of Sindh. But Arabs came in very small number then, and there wasn't any continuous Arab presence in India. But there were people from Central Asia, Afghanistan, and since they were Muslims, they had connection to Arabic. But apart from that, the language they spoke was mainly Turkish. Nothing to do with modern Turkey. Because that's not the Turkish homeland. That's Central Asian Turks. Afghans spoke Persian. Some of these people spoke Persian as their official language as well, and Pashto. So these languages, especially Persian and Arabic, had a huge influence on Urdu language. And obviously it's a language which they use to connect to the Indian people. So the Indian language is basically half-half. Now, as far as Persian, there's no Iranian connection, except for later when I think Baba or Humayun in 16th century, 17th century, fled to Iran after losing the throne, and Safavids helped him to regain his throne. So after that there is some Iranian influence, especially in form of Shiaism. But Iranian Persian has no direct influence on either the Persian language spoken by Muslims in India or the Persian influence which we have on Urdu. And it's you can see it today, for example, in part of Pakistan, the Persian place name. Like Punjab, or even in the local languages, you will find Persian words which are not used in Persian today, especially Iranian Persian. For example, hofta for the night prayer, or Isha prayer. Okay, how much we gone? Okay, still some time. So it's a language, it's a combination of Indian languages. Plus various Muslim languages. And obviously Indian languages had influence, yeah, heavy influence. But also it has influenced other Indian languages. For example, Punjabi, which in its central and eastern forms is very, very close to Urdu. Okay. These are, by the way, my oral history. There's no research behind it, it's just what I know. One thing is that, and that's my claim anyway, Urdu basically has nobody's mother tongue, really. Except those people who migrated to, some of those people who migrated to Pakistan and lost their mother tongues. Because of the lack of use. For example, people from Delhi, UP, CP, Hyderabad, Bihar, etc. who are living. Because it's a language of connection. So for example, people of UP or consider Urdu speakers, they actually speak their own mother tongue, like Purbi. And even people who live around Delhi, I mean, they're basically Punjabis anyway. So they speak Punjabi. Or if they are from other part of India, they speak other languages. So in that sense, Urdu is one of the few languages in the world which is almost purely a language of connections. Okay. So in Turkish language, Urdu is nowadays, in modern Turkey, Urdu is written, and they mean by it army. And I think they have a city as well in modern Turkey that attests to the Turkish roots of the word Urdu. Well, just before I finish, want to show you a good resource, and maybe we'll check out what it says about Urdu as well. That's the Urdu Language app. I think it's maintained by Urdu Dictionary, the official Urdu Dictionary by Urdu Board Pakistan. So you can search words using. So, for example, let us search what it says about Urdu. Okay. So it says Turki zuban se isme jamid hai. So it's derived from Turkish language. It's a noun. So first used the echo traced was in 1797 in the book called Lataif Saadat. And in Urdu, it is used both as proper noun and or has been used as proper noun for the noun of a language. In that case, it is used as a feminine, but it is also used or has been used as a common noun, singular common noun, and in that case it is used as masculine. For example, in 1867, I think this is a book, or they find the use of word Urdu meaning bazar or market or a huge bazaar. Or I think this couldn't be ओजान के गाहक तेरे उर्दू में जो आए सौदाए हुए हुस्न का बाजार समझ में. So Urdu here mean bazaar. I think this is Diwan, a book of poetry. It is also used in the sense of army camp or army barracks. So they found a use in 1847. Book of Anis is one of the earlier poets of Urdu. Urdu में दुकानें जो लगाए थे. So here Urdu is used, and so it's talking about shops around the barracks or the army camp. And like the modern Turkish usage, it's also used in the sense of army or lashkar. And they found a use in 1930 book on Tamerlan. I think it's in Urdu. अक्सर कबाइल को अपने उर्दू में शामिल किया. So it's talking about Tamerlan, I guess, that he included most tribes in his army. On the other hand, it's used as a proper noun for the name of a language, and there is a bit of introduction to the Urdu language in here from Maulvi Abdul Haq's book. So what it say, बर सग़ीर पाक व हिंद के अक्सर इलाकों में बोली और समझी जाने वाली ज़ुबान जिसके लुगात में प्राकृत नीज़ गैर प्राकृत देसी लफ्ज़ों के साथ अरबी, फ़ारसी, टर्की और कुछ यूरोपीय ज़बानों के अल्फाज भी शामिल. So basically it says what we said. It is understood in most part of subcontinent, and it includes Indian languages and Arabic and Persian and Turkish and some European languages, some words from European language. And its grammar has been changing. First, it used to be known as Hindi, Hindvi, and there are different views about its evolution. in 14th century started being written, and its worst form was called Richter at the time. And it was referred to as the name of the language spoken around the barracks on the army camp. And Urdu is written in Arabic alphabet, plus some letters which represent the specific Urdu sounds derived from there. European derived from the Indian languages, by saying the basic evolution of Urdu started in 20th century, and in fact British had a huge role to play in the evolution of Urdu, because they wanted to kill Persian, really. And then when British wanted to leave, so there was a freedom movement. We'll talk about it a bit later in another video, but so then there was two movements for Pakistan and India. So then there was the whole thing about Urdu and Hindi and their differences. Okay, I think this is enough for now, and I'll come back with another video where I'll talk probably about Urdu's connection with different languages in separate videos.